Hey, how's it going? It's Adam here with App Launch Academy, and I wanted to go ahead and go over with you the app launch strategy. And I put this in the most simplest form that I could possibly make for you, so it's very easy to understand. It flows nicely, and to show you that even though it's very simple, anybody can do it, and you can scale it as much as you like. It does take some time, so I'm not going to kid you and say that launching an app is really complicated, but I'm not going to say it's easy either. But if you follow this blueprint and you do exactly what I'm showing you here, you're going to love it. You're going to be able to launch app very quickly. And the purpose of this is to help you gain users for your pre-launch or your post-launch, whatever it is that you are, wherever stage you're at with your app. This is going to help you, and this is what we've done to help some of our clients grow their app not client base, user base, so that way they can go ahead and successfully launch their app and they have downloads right away, because that's what you want. When you launch your app, you want downloads as soon as possible, and that's going to be effective if you have a pre-launch list. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do this here, and I think you're going to like it. So the first part is the one-page website, and I think this goes without being said, but you're going to need a website for your mobile app. And this is not just to show people, hey, I have a website and it's coming soon. You want to use this as a tool, because you want to use it as a mechanism to collect names and emails. Even if your app has not launched, even if it's on the App Store, you want to do this. This is a step that's overlooked by a lot of individuals, because they wait until the app is in the actual App Store before they even do anything. And that's a huge mistake, because once it's in the App Store, you're like everybody else, and you don't want to be like that. You want to be able to put in the App Store, you want to have people to download it even before it's there, and then once you go live, you have people that are ready to download it, and you can grow your app from that point. So first you want to start with your one-page website. Then what you want to do is you want to pull out a pen and paper, and you want to identify your ideal user. Okay, so that's what we have here, this group of people here, and this is your ideal user. So for example, is if you have let's say it's a nutrition app or a personal training app, and you target a certain age group and gender, you want to make sure that you have that there. And you want to be very narrow on the age range, because if you do it too broad, not everyone's going to have the same, appeal to your app. Maybe if it's a large social media app, then you could be more broad on your age. But for most part, if it's a niche app, you want to make sure that if you're focusing on a certain type of user, that you want to have that age group very narrowly focused. I'd say within 10 years. So it's 25 to 35 or 30 to 40. You want to make sure it's very narrow. And then you want to go into their interests. Now, interests are very important, because it's not just if you have an interest in health or fitness or wellness. Okay, that's pretty easy. But those type of categories are all different. So let's say, and I'm just using fitness because it's an easy example for this. So let's say that you have a personal training app for men to help them build muscle, right? And that's exactly what it does. So what you're going to want to do is, you don't want to just put in personal training or bodybuilding, weightlifting. That's all great. But you might want to target what their interests are. Maybe magazines or celebrities or specific protein brands or supplement brands. And that's going to be each one of these colored interests. And you're going to break that down, because that's going to have its own individual profile with that age group that you could target to launch your app. And that's really important that you narrow down your interests. And we have a whole training that goes over marketing for and launching your app. But this is the blueprint that you're going to follow to help you. So first you want to do is you want to have your website. Then you want to identify your ideal user and their interests and age range. Then excuse me, once you have that, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to come over here and you want to set up your campaigns with Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram are one of the best ways to build a pre-launch list or even launch your app. And there's another one I'm going to talk about here shortly. But you want to take that user interest that you have, and you want to put them into Facebook, and also select the Instagram targeting option. And I would recommend putting those two separate campaigns. But again, that's a whole nother training. This is just basic, okay? So you want to make sure you have two different campaigns, one for your Facebook, one for your Instagram, using that user profile, and you want to roll it out to just those individuals. And when you do that, you're going to want to send them again to your one-page website. That's why it's so important that you have this, because you're going to need to collect those names and emails. You don't even have to collect name. You could just collect emails, because that's really what you're going to need once you're building a pre-launch list, because as you're pre-launching, you could say, hey, we are in day 95 of developing our app. Here's where we're at. What are your thoughts on this? Get them involved. Make them feel like they had a part of the development. They have some say in it. And they're going to feel really special about that. And that's something that's really unique to launching an app that's been really successful for us. So that's why you want to have that pre-launch list. And again, you have your website here. You take it and you start in your pre-launch targeted user profile, and you start building this large pre-launch list. Now, I get a question a lot of times is, how many people should I have on my pre-launch list? Well, obviously the more the better. But if you don't have 100,000 pre-launch in your signups in your pre-launch list, or even 10,000 in your pre-launch list, it's better to have maybe a 500 to 1,000. I know it sounds really small, but think about it. If you have 500 to 1,000 people on a pre-launch list, right, to launch your app, okay, and out of those 500 to 1,000, let's say only 10% are really paying attention. So that's going to give you anywhere between 50 to 100 people that are actually download your game or your app or whatever it is. That's a solid core of individuals that you can build on. And don't ever overlook that. When it comes to apps, that's always the macro view. Like, well, there's millions of people in the world. There's millions of people that are going to download my app, but that's okay. You'll get there. But you got to start somewhere, and it's better to have those individuals, because what's going to happen is they're going to go, they'll leave comments, and let's say you have 50 to 100 downloads. Tell them all, hey, thank you so much, or incentivize early sign up. Thank you so much. Give them some credits for in-app purchases or whatever. There's ways to reward them, but you want to give them something, and then in exchange, leave you a review. So when it goes into the App Store, you're getting all these new reviews, and if there's an app that was launched that's similar to yours, maybe even better than yours, you never know. But if they have no reviews, they have no feedback, it's going to look like a dead app and no one's really using it. But if you have, your 50 to 100 reviews, or 10 or to 20 reviews in there, and they think it's a great app, download it now, they're going to download yours, and that's going to help your game or your app. It's going to rank higher when people are searching within the App Store. So it's really important that you go ahead and you get this done and follow this launch strategy. So let's go back over here. Once you have your user profile, we talked about going over to Facebook and Instagram and launching your campaigns to target your pre-launch list. Now, there's another way that we use, and this one is equally as powerful, and it's going to help you generate a lot of interest as well. And this is called Instagram influencers. Now, if you don't know what an influencer is, it's someone that has a large presence on their website, on their Instagram page, that you can reach out to, that will promote your brand, service, product, whatever it is. Okay, I'm not going to give you a training on Instagram influencers, because that's another topic all in itself. But what you have is you have the ability for individuals that are maybe authorities in the space, whether it's business or gaming or health, fitness, fashion, whatever your app is about, you'll know. And what you'll do is you'll go on Instagram and you'll search for influencers in that area. And then you reach out to them and say, hey, Mr. Influencer or Mrs. Influencer, I have this new app coming out. I have this new prototype, or I have this, whatever it is. Can you send people to my website? So then that way I can go ahead and build my list. And they'll say, yeah, sure. They'll give you their terms and what it is you want to do and the cost. Typically, we have found for influencers, you're looking at anywhere between $25 to $500 per shout out for an influencer. And the main thing is, again, I'm not going to go over the whole influencer training, because there's so much that goes into that. I've actually included on this page right here, I've included a document, a PDF that shows you how to reach influencers and how to speak with them. So it's a whole script on that. You could download that here on this page, which is great. Okay, but what you want to look for is influencers. They're going to charge anywhere between $25 to $500 per shout out. And a tip here, and this is really important. Don't buy on length, okay? If they want to say, oh, well, I'll post you for 24 hours, it does not matter, because the most activity you're going to receive on your promoted post is going to be within the first hour. So if they want to say, well, you're going to charge you more because you get a longer time, it doesn't matter. You own that first hour is really all that matters, and that's it. So that's what you want to negotiate on. But what you want to make sure you do is once you find your influencers and you found those on Instagram, you want to have them with an account of at least 500,000 followers. That's our minimum. We've gone below that. We've gone 150, 100,000, and it's just not as good as a conversion, because when people look at it, yeah, they have a lot of users, but they don't have as much weight as if someone has 1 million followers. That voice of 1 million followers from that influencer is a lot louder, not because they have more people, but it's just because they have more credibility. So you want to make sure you look for that. So you want to make your list of influencers. So you have, let's say you have 4 here. You pay them all, whether it's $25 or $500, depending on your budget. That's completely up to you. And you go ahead and you pay them to send your one-page website again, and they create your pre-launch list. Now, this is exactly what we've used with our clients to help them with their pre-launch for their apps, and they have generated tens of thousands of pre-signups following this strategy. Okay. It's not complicated, it's very simple, and that's what I wanted to do, is make sure that I made this as simple as possible and show you that it's not, there's no hidden secrets or anything to do this. Now, there are a lot of moving pieces. This is a really simple overview of how this works. There's a lot of moving pieces that we teach further on, but I did want to give you the initial framework that you can follow. So take this blueprint, watch this video again, download the influencer script, so then that way you can go ahead and go through this process, and you'll be able to set up your pre-launch campaign. So I just wanted to show you this quick video, so then that way you can go ahead and have your Kickstarter kit and get your app launched and get your pre-launch strategy going, because that's going to be crucial, not only for the post-launch when your app hits the App Store, but another thing that's really important is you want to have that pre-launch list when you launch your app. Excuse me, before you launch your app. There's so many things going on here, but before you launch your app, when you're going and you're sharing it with business professionals and you want to have the money to build your app, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have people already pre-signed up. And that's really important. You want to have people there, so when that question comes up, how do people like the app? Have people downloaded it? You can say, yeah, absolutely. I have 100, I have 1,000, I have 100,000 people already signed up. And then it's pretty much easy, smooth sailing from that point. So anyhow, I want to show you this quick app launch guide for your Kickstarter kit. So watch this video again if you have any questions. Download the documents on this page, read through those, and thank you so much for watching this video, and looking forward to seeing how you perform and the interest you generate for your app and launching another successful app in the App Store.